Hello YouTube, this is the Judgements, and I'm going to be doing a quick video based around the upcoming game Advanced Warfare. This video will be providing you with my top 10 tips that you can take over with the change from Black Ops 2 or Ghosts into Advanced Warfare. Please remember that these are my top 10 tips and not the top 10 tips, so other people may be able to provide you with better, more reliable options. So before I start to provide you with all these tips, I'm just going to mention a few things. Starting with the background footage, it's just a quick game of Search and Destroy that I had with a friend of mine. Also, I'd like to point out that this is my first commentary, as you may be able to tell, and I don't really know what I'm doing or how to do it. So for the first few times I do these, it may sound a little off. And lastly, I won't be uploading videos on a constant schedule. It'll just be if I have something to talk about, or if there's a gameplay that I play with the team, then that will be uploaded most probably. So yeah, onto the actual important things. So each of these tips may be taken in different ways depending on the playstyle that you have. For example, if you're going into Advanced Warfare, the competitive side, then many of these tips are going to be helpful for different reasons compared to why they would actually be helpful for someone who's going to be going into the pub stomping side of Advanced Warfare. So just be aware of that it's not aimed at a direct audience, although a lot of the points are competitive sided. So for my first tip, I'm just going to recommend that you look for a class that suits you and not one that works for other people. Unlike Call of Duty Ghosts at the start of the game, I don't believe there'll be one gun that actually mainly defines the game. For example, if you prefer to use an assault rifle, mess around with each of the attachments for the gun. Not everything that everyone else uses is going to be right for you. So if you like in Call of Duty Ghosts, we mainly see the Remington in the competitive side of the game, whereas in the pub stomping it's mainly the honey badger, and everyone uses them. That's because it's mainly the dominant gun, but because the game's new that we're going into, there isn't going to be a main gun that everyone's going to be using, so make sure you mess around with it and find something that actually works for you. Also remember that it's going to be difficult because of the exosuit and all the different features that you may have, so each attachment for each gun may be different. The ACOG scope may work on one assault rifle where it doesn't on another, if that makes sense. And it will affect your actual gameplay if you don't find a class that actually works for you rather than what everyone else is using, so just keep that in mind. So for my second tip, I'm going to recommend that you go into each of the maps and you just look at all the maps before you start going into a ranked gameplay. Because each of the maps you're going to need to learn, otherwise you're going to just get lost, you're going to not know your callouts, etc, etc. So play a few normal games. It may be boring, it may not be enjoyable, but remember you can't just go straight into a competitive mode and expect to do really well unless your whole team are able to work around each other, and one of the members if one of the members doesn't know the map, then it's going to bring down the whole team overall. So the third tip goes back to that a little bit with the callouts. All of the previous Call of Duties, the players have provided specific callouts for each certain areas of the map. For example, I remember on a map Black Ops 2, Standoff I think it was called, there was the broken wall, and then you had the central area, and I think it was Blue Room in the far left. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, that's what I believe they were, and obviously that's how we found out where players actually were. So through the first few weeks of Advanced Warfare, people will not know any callouts, any shoutouts or anything. So it's going to be down to you and your team, your group of players, to actually create these for the first few weeks until there's a main set that everyone uses. However, if you go into a game and other people are calling stuff out that you don't understand, they could mean similar things to what you have as your callouts. So remember just to try and compare them a bit, that you don't go a bit annoyed at them for saying like the wrong callout, because they may have different ones to you. So I'm sure if you just ask them, they can actually assist you in that. My fourth tip is not to overuse the exosuit. It's a new feature into the game, and you don't want to try over jumping or over dashing, as it may actually take an effect onto your gameplay. If you start to dash and double jump around loads, then as much as it will allow you to be hard to be killed, it will also make it a lot harder for you to actually get the kills. So just think about that, take it a bit steady, learn it before you actually just start spamming the A button, etc, etc. My fifth tip on the top 10 is also to do with the exosuit. There are going to be loads of features coming with the exosuit, including trophy systems, extra health and a cloak, and you also have the jetpack, etc, etc. And each of these clearly have different effects, and you should mess around with these to combine it into a class, because you don't want to really be using the wrong extra attachment, if that makes sense, on the wrong class. For example, if you're using a sniper class, you want to be able to hide easily, therefore a cloak may be the way to go for you. Whereas the jetpack class on the sniper wouldn't really benefit you as much, because it's going to make it a lot trickier unless you're going for trick shots, obviously. So for number 6, I recommend that you set up a plan before going into the game. Remember what you want to achieve when going into Advanced Warfare. Like, are you going to be part of a competitive team, or do you just aim to have fun with friends? Or even, if you want to, do you want to be like a pub stomper? Like a really good pub stomper? Each of which will require a different technique to get through. If you are wanting to play the game competitive, then over these next 10 days, create a plan for the road you wish to go down, whether you want to be a part of a team before you go into the game, or if you want to find a team a week or two into the game. Remember that team isn't just skill, it's also about communication and relationship between the players. Therefore, if you believe that you can find a solid squad before going into the game, think about if you really like each other. Like, are you actually getting along? And on top of that, is it a solid squad? Like, does each of the players all have gun skill? Can they all win their own gunfights, or can they not? Because you've got to think about that. And then on top of that, do you actually think that you're ready to just jump over from one game to the other? Because I remember from Black Ops 2 to Call of Duty Ghosts, a lot of people struggled with the migration because of it was a different way of playing. Bullets were a lot shorter to their kills. It only takes 2 or 3 bullets an hour. Black Ops 2 and maybe 4 or 5. Also, you're going to need to understand the guns when you're transferring over, so you've got to be able to understand before you go in order to do successful. Like, are you going to be bringing down your team? So is it best to actually think and make a plan of, maybe I'll play for a week or 2 and then go into a team in which we can have a really strong squad. Also look at the pick 13, well, this is the next tip, sorry. So this is tip number 7. Think about your pick 13 system in which you have the ability to customise your class like never before. Go back to your Call of Duty Ghost classes or Black Ops 2, whatever you play at the moment, and then look at them as if you had the chance to add 2 more things or even an extra perk. Would you remove a perk to get a better one and then perhaps add a grenade, or would you go down the route of adding 3 attachments to your gun? Now that's an option. So think about it closely when you go into Advanced Warfare. Like, if you have an idea of what you want to do already, then it's going to maximise the time you actually have of playing the game to get better at it. The 8th tip is, don't think too much of the game the moment you play it. Like, I've seen it too many times when a person will believe the game is amazing at first glance or even awful at first glance, and then due to this they dedicate so much time or don't play the game at all. Like, remember to give it a chance. Like, this may take up to weeks. Like, just because it's new doesn't mean it needs to be reviewed or opinionated straight away. Or just because you have that one bad game at the start doesn't mean that you're going to have it like an awful time all the way through the game. It could just be that you're playing with a really good group of players that are better at the game than you. The 9th tip is, it's just the game, and prioritise other things around the game. Like, if you have family time, stuff like that, or school projects, do them first, because the game's always going to be there. Don't rush your homework, because like in 5 more minutes after it's done, if you put that extra bit of time in, get your grades up, you can just hop over and play the game then for the rest of the night, or even all weekend, because you've done all of your work, you've got good stuff. For the final tip, I just want to say that depending on how you plan on going about the game, get a good night's sleep the day before if you do plan on staying up all day, and probably the night all night after, because otherwise it's going to destroy your body. A lot of people are probably going to take time off work, time off school just to play the game, which is a bit of a shame. Like, but I do it because I enjoy Call of Duty, but it's going to ruin your sleeping schedule, etc. So make sure you do get a really good night's sleep to keep your energy up, and keep drinking water, because otherwise you get very dehydrated. So I'm just going to go over it all. Like I said, these tips are just my opinions, and there will be many other opinions that may be more useful or factual for the actual game. So don't base everything you do off of this. And I do ask that if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to me for more. Also, all the videos posted on this channel may not have commentary, but instead to be like my live voice of gameplay when I'm playing games with friends, etc. There goes a truck right across the window. Therefore, if I'm in a game commentary, I may not be responding to previous comments of previous videos, but I will actually make videos overall for actual questions that are made in comments, if there are any. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for listening to this, and if you do hit the like button, and also there will be another video coming out with my preparations for Advanced Warfare, and that should be clickable below unless it's not out yet, depending on when you're watching this video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.